ACE promotes mental health. In this episode, we explore the pressure put on by achieving excellent grades,
But honestly, you give us way too much homework.
preserving one's culture,
Because you feel a certain allegiance to both your culture
and dealing with social media.
Social media is the biggest form of influencing.
I'm Taline, and you're watching SHTV. Welcome to SHTV. I'm your host, Taline. This week's episode covers mental health, which is a very important topic. Our first segment covers how our culture's pressures affects our mental health.
First, we interviewed a secondary 5 student to see what she thinks about cultural pressure.
Have you ever felt cultural pressure as an Armenian?
I definitely think so. I think there's a certain way we're told we should act and think, and when you deviate from that even a little bit, it can start to feel, I don't know, it's hard because you feel a certain allegiance to both your culture and what you think morally is right. So absolutely, I feel there's some pressure there, and I think every Armenian feels a little bit of pressure from their culture.
Now, let's see what one of the teachers at Surpagop has to say about this topic.
Have you ever experienced cultural pressure as an Armenian?
I would be lying if I said I didn't. I think the pressure is more palpable when you're younger, when you still haven't formed your identity, especially living in a country that is not your homeland. And so, yes, definitely there's been the pressure of matching the value you attribute to your culture to your practices in actual real life. As you get older, you find the balance. As you get older, you find the harmony. As you get older, it no longer becomes pressure or struggle. It becomes part of who you are. It defines you. And so you're better able to embrace the difficulties and the advantages associated to any given culture, especially when you feel comfortable in your own skin, you appreciate your history, and you look forward to the prospering of your people. So I think it starts off rough, as it normally would, and then you find your balance.
We've also interviewed a few other students to see if they've dealt with cultural pressure.
Have you felt cultural pressure as an Armenian?
Of course I did. I felt pressure as an Armenian because a lot of people said, "Did you heard about the genocide?" And I felt pressed and I felt very sad about it.
Have you felt cultural pressure as a Native American?
Yes, my grandmother always told me to speak my native language at home, which I never did.
Have you ever felt cultural pressure as an Armenian?
No.
Have you ever felt cultural pressure as an Armenian?
Not really.
Another area that pushes us to our limits are academics. Let's see how academic pressure plays on our mental health.
So in this video, we will talk about and demonstrate you guys about academic pressure. So the first clip, you guys will see a little skit of how academic pressure affects the students. And it will be followed by asking some students in our school and some teachers about academic pressure.
Okay, class, so today is your final exam, comprehension. The first question is, how would you describe Piggy in the book?
I know this answer. When did you give this exam?
I gave it to you like 2 months ago. You knew! It's not fair!
My parents are gonna kill me. I give up.
Stop talking! This is an exam! I'll give you 0!
Sorry. Do you feel pressured academically?
Yes.
Why is that so?
Because I have to keep my grades up to get into college, and there's a lot of pressure on that.
Do you feel academically pressured?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because there's so many, there's a lot of pressure on us. For example, Mr. Lu, every second, even on the weekends, homework on Google Classroom.
Do you feel academically pressured?
Yes, because I feel the need to get good grades to go in good schools.
Do you feel academically pressured?
Yes, because especially that this week, the coming weeks are exam week, we feel that pressure, so.
Do you think your students feel academically pressured?
I do believe that our students, or any student in general, does feel academic pressure, especially in Sec 4 and Sec 5 when they're trying to decide what their next step is.
Dear Mr. Lu, coming from that guy, you already know me, I'm that guy, Mr. Lu, but honestly, you give us way too much homework, especially this past weekend. You send us a lot of emails, and this brings pressure on us to be on time, and I think it's a bit too much. And I'm thinking about the students next year, the Sec 4, the students that will be going to Sec 5. I wish them good luck, because you give us way too much homework, and knowing that it's the exam week next week, I feel pressured a lot, especially with the exams, the other class exams, and plus with your conflict assignment that it's due Sunday night when I have to study for my other exams. Please, I'm saying it from my part and the part of the entire class, stop giving us body paragraphs and assignments due on the weekends after Christmas. That will be our Christmas gift. Thank you.
Working in a field that deals with mental health requires a lot of dedication and passion. We got the chance to sit down with psychiatrist Taline Bedrossian and ask her 5 questions.
So hi, I'm Dr. Taline Bedrossian. I'm a child and adolescent psychiatrist. I've been practicing child and adolescent psychiatry since 2009. Prior to that, I graduated from med school in 2003 at McGill, and then I did my psychiatry residency and graduated in 2009. I've been practicing child and adolescent psychiatry since then. Currently, I'm working at Hôpital Saint-Justine, I'm basically working in the anxiety clinic mainly, and also doing emergency psychiatry.
Why did you become a psychiatrist?
So when after my CJEP, actually, I got in med school because I wanted to be a doctor. And while I was doing one of my residency not a residency, but my rotations as a med student, I did psychiatry, and I encountered amazing psychiatrists there and amazing patients that were suffering from mental illness, and quite severe actually mental illness, so like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and I wanted to make a difference in their life. So that's why I decided to become a child and adolescent psychiatry, so hopefully to delay or help them to maybe avoid having mental illness in the future, or at least making it less of an intense disease later on in their future.
Who or what is your motivation and why?
So my number one motivation, I think it's the biggest one, is to help people and to make sure that their life goes well for them, and not just a lot of doctors, it's more on the physical aspect that they're helping out people, but my area is really more on their emotional well-being, on their cognitive well-being, and that's as important as the physical health. I really believe that helping children and teenagers early on is really gonna make a difference in their future when they become a little adult, and later on when they're a full adult and they work. So already working with children, adolescent families early on, I really believe that, and that's actually my daily motivation, to make a difference in their future life.
What are some of the qualities that you need to have in order to become a psychiatrist?
So number one, you have to have empathy. So this is a human treating another human being, and you really have to be able to listen, validate their emotions, being there for them. You have to listen to what they're saying, they're telling you. So you have to be very patient with your patients, and you also have to love working with people, and being able to analyze also what's happening and how you can help them at the right moment. Sometimes we can't do everything at the first meeting, so we have to take time to get to know the patient, learn about their difficulties, learn about their distress, and what can we do to make their distress a bit better and improve some of their functioning also on their daily life.
What are some of the challenges that you faced during your career?
So there's many times that you face challenges. Obviously you have to get in med school, you have to do your residency training, you have a lot of exams to do, a lot of studying to do. But I think the biggest challenge right now, once you work, you practice, it's the lack of resources we're facing right now, and also the healthcare system is exploding from different places. So it's really unfortunately the system right now is not helping us to be able to reach our full potential in helping out people. So that's the most challenging aspect right now of my work.
What advice can you give to someone who wants to become a psychiatrist?
I think the biggest advice is be perseverant. So enjoy learning. That's number one. You have to enjoy learning a lot. But I think the biggest advice is really be perseverant. It's a huge field right now, psychiatry. There's so many interesting things coming up at different levels. So one of the biggest thing is to be very curious, also to learn about those new aspects in psychiatry that are coming up, and just stay human. I think be yourself, be confident, be human. That's the most important advice I would give.
One of the biggest things in people's lives nowadays is social media. Let's see how that can impact someone's mental health.
Social media creates conflict, whether that be between people or a person versus themselves. It does, and it's a reality that all of teenagers live today. It's not just the video that we created. It is the reality, especially of teenage girls, and they are very easily influenced, and social media is the biggest form of influencing, and teenage girls see those photos that are photoshopped, that are fake online, and they think that's how they should be. And when they see that they are not like that, they have very normal human bodies, they think badly of themselves, they change their perception of themselves, and they want to become something that could not exist, that is impossible to exist. And if it does, it is fake. So it creates conflict, it creates a fight between the person and their mind and the way they see themselves. As we saw in the video, a teenage girl was looking at photos of a model on Instagram, and it is so easy, especially nowadays, to Photoshop your photos completely to make you look completely different, and to make it look realistic in a sense that like this is what you actually look like. And teenage girls tend to be influenced by this, tend to think that this is what the person actually looks like, and they look at themselves in the mirror and they realize that they don't look like this, and they start to have body image issues, they start to hate the way they look, and they will want to change themselves in order to look like something that does not exist.
It's time for this week's SHTV challenge. This time around, we'll focus on stress.
Hi, I'm Carnidos Kunyan, the host of the SHTV challenge. Stress is something that weighs heavily on our shoulders. Here's this week's challenge.
Hi, I'm Kilo Kasan. I'm a secondary 5 student. I know how hard and stressful it can be in high school. Your challenge this week is to come up with 5 ways to cope with stress. Good luck!
Now that we know that our challenge has to do with dealing with stress, let's see who our challenger is.
Hi, I'm Narine Gafkezian. I'm here with my 2 good friends, and I accept the challenge to show you how to deal with stress.
Now that we know that Narine has to show us ways to deal with stress, let's see how she did.
The first way to deal with stress is taking some time for yourself. Get away from people and do something alone, like reading, listening to music, or just taking a walk. The second way is doing good things for people around you. Doing a good thing for someone else might put a smile on your face and might just take your mind off of what you're stressing about. Next is laughing. Someone telling you a joke or you making others laugh. Do this with friends that you feel comfortable around. Next is moving. Playing sports, walking, or running can once again help you take your mind off of the thing that is making you stressed. And last is just taking a break. Take a break, breathe a little, meditate so you can calm yourself down.
Wow, those are incredible tricks. I know for a fact that I'm going to use some for myself. Join us next week for the next SHTV challenge.
Thank you for watching SHTV, and we hope you reflected on some of the things that might negatively impact your mental health. We also hope you engaged with this upcoming Bell Let's Talk event that takes place on January 25th, this Wednesday. Now, let's leave you with some positive affirmations.
So this is how, the frogs grow.
Are you helping her with science homework?
Yes.
Wow, you're such a helpful person.
Thank you.
Complimenting someone can be encouraging, and it can also motivate them to keep going.
A nice message to you all is that try to talk to somebody when you're feeling uncomfortable, having stress, worries, doubts.
Remember, a rainbow is made out of rain and sunshine, so don't lose hope.
Don't stress about school or life or anything, because it's going to all turn out in the end if you work hard and believe in yourself.
Don't worry about what other people think. Do what you think is right.
I'm very proud of you. Keep going, keep pushing through, and reach that finish line.